Okay, good evening, my Rosans and Rosikins. Mother is back, and I want to talk about a story time of when I had told one of my past lovers that I will not become a mother. So, back then, like a couple years ago, I had wanted to be a mother. And for me, it was more of just waiting for my husband, in order to start a family, when I get married and not becoming a baby mother. That was my initial mission. Now, as you know, my new mission is to never have kids but yet most likely to still want to be married. And so he was one of my past lovers. He was from Ghana and he is amazingly sweet. But I will never forget how he wanted me at the time when I did want kids, had offered saying that we should probably, like, he wants kids before marriage. And me, I'm not setting myself up like that. Even when I wanted them at one point, I said no. I want marriage first, then a child. And then now, as you know, I have changed completely and I don't want kids at all. And so I let him know that I will not be having kids because we had rekindled, as friends. We're just friends now, even though we don't speak that much anymore. But it was like, what, a year ago when we had rekindled? And I told him about my new choice and autonomy of wanting to be a child free woman. And he was like, no, mother, no, like, you have to at least have one. You need to make beautiful babies. Like, you need to have one. You're a beautiful woman. You got to have one. And I found it so interesting how he had the reasoning that I needed to have a baby because I'm a beautiful woman. I needed to have one because my babies would be beautiful, because they would look like me, he was saying. And I find it interesting because I don't know. Have you all, my Rosalynds, dealt with men that have told you the same thing? Because what I'm realizing is that when it comes down to child free conversation, it's one thing if a woman says she's child free, she wants to be a cat lady, and she doesn't have sexual market value at all, nor appealing to men in general. But it's another when you're a pretty girl saying, no, you cannot use my womb to have your baby, to pass on your seed. I don't want that. They really get in a tussle because they really want you to have their babies because you have beauty privilege, pretty privilege. And don't even get me started on, us as browns, as dark skin exoticals, and also lighter exoticals, light skin exoticals as well. All of us can relate to this, and pretty girls in general. But I'm focusing on the exoticals, right? That don't let you be an exotical on top of that, right? With certain like hair texture, certain features, certain skin tones, certain ethnic backgrounds and ancestry backgrounds and cultural backgrounds and racial backgrounds, because they feel like that having you carry their seed is going to give their seed, is in their children that you would birth in that hypothetical sense, a leg up in society, because now they can brag about the fact that, yeah, my baby mama bad or my wife bad, as in the mother of my kids, she's bad, and so are my children, you know? And I also want to caution that sometimes men will literally want to procreate with you to prey on the very children that you give them. So it's not lost on me that sometimes a man will impregnate a woman that he's sexually attracted to, that when their daughter comes out looking just like the mother that he's sexually attracted to, he can become a predator to the daughter as well, even if that is his own blood relation. And yeah, no, hell to the no. So for me personally, I just find it so interesting. Comment down below, my Roslins, if you've ever, as a child-free exotical, had a man or men in general tell you that you have to have at least one because you're beautiful and your children would be pretty too. Um, because I find it so interesting. I find it very interesting, especially, now that I'm child free. Before I want a traditional type of family. Now I'm more of I guess I want more of a traditional marriage, but not with the kids. I want, like I told you in my other videos regarding child free lifestyle, I want the freedom and autonomy. I don't want to undergo the stress, the emotional taxing, the fetishization. There you go. I'm sorry. of my baby girl. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I don't apologize for that shit. I love my baby girl so much, she's not going to be here in this shithole. Okay? Okay. And I don't think that it's good enough to give birth to a baby because they're going to be pretty. I don't think that's good enough because if you are truly a pretty woman, you know freaking well what comes with being pretty. Okay? Okay. And so what you're doing is that you are both accepting the curses and the blessings bestowed upon your daughter through her beauty that you know she's going to experience. And you know in your heart that you cannot protect your baby from everything. And so, no, I don't think it's a good enough reason to say, oh, yeah, I want pretty babies, so I'm going to go ahead and have babies. No, that's not good enough. Like, literally, not good enough at all. And so I just find it so interesting. I find it so interesting because I never ever hear other types of women saying, "Oh yeah, a man told me that I should just have pretty babies, and we're gonna have pretty babies, and I need to have babies even though I don't want them." I don't really even hear child-free women saying, like, they'll say that people have problems with them being child-free, but it's different when you have pretty privilege and you're exotical at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Their reasonings for people telling them are usually like, "Oh yeah, they think I should have a kid because I'm a woman." Well, for us, they think we should have kids because we're pretty and our babies will be pretty. So I just find it so interesting. So please comment down below. Tell me if you ever experienced this with men or partners in general, like saying that you should have a baby of some form, even family members, whomever, and even though you're child free, right? So let me know. And also, it doesn't escape me that men will try to baby trap you too. Like, I remember like men respect the fact that I'm waiting till marriage, but like when I tell them like, you know, I don't want kids, and they be like, yeah, you say that now till later. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I said I don't want kids. And if I change my mind, let me change it on my own. But I'm not changing my mind. Now, I've thought about this long and hard because, you know, some days you're like, well, because kids are a blessing to me, right? I love children. But I realized me being a 24/7 mom and being attached to a man for the rest of my life and risking my body, my beauty to give birth, it's not worth it for me. Respectfully, it is what it is. And so, what I find so interesting though is that men will still try to convince you that you should have their baby. And here's the gag though. The gag is even if they know you're waiting till marriage and you know they're not going to be having intercourse with you until marriage, they are someone who says, okay, well, I'll baby trap her. Like they'll think this, right? They won't say it out loud or they'll hint at it, that they'll still baby trap you when given an opportunity to have sex with you at some point within your relationship, whether your boyfriend, girlfriend, or through a marriage, right? So I find it so interesting. And Rosalind's, please guard your wound, okay? Guard your wound because they don't, it's not even that they want to be a father per se. They just want to be able to say that you're the mother of their kids and that their kids look like you. That's what the gag is. It's not even that they want to be a father. It's not like they're saying, "Oh yeah, you know, I want to raise beautiful." Well, let's get that part. And I'm just saying, like, I want to raise good babies with you, or to be a blessing and have my own family with you, right? I want a family. They want you to be on their arm and they want you to have their kids because they want beautiful babies. That's what I was trying to say. They want beautiful babies with you. That's what they're saying, but they're not saying they want to be a family man. You get what I'm saying? So they just want bragging rights that they have an attractive family, and that will come through you. And so I find it so interesting when men like just can't take no from a child-free woman. They just have to convince us exoticals that we need to have their babies. We have to have them. Not ugly Betty, right? Not the unambiguous black women that always are producing babies out of wedlock, right? But it's the women that are child free and that are exotical and have pretty privilege that they want the most, to that we just have to have their babies. We have to have something. And their reasoning is different, right? Their reasoning is literally stuck on the aesthetic of it all and the bragging rights to say that you're the one that is the mother of their kids and that their kids came from you and that the kids also have your same privileges. So I just find that so interesting. And so please comment down below. Like, I really want to hear other women's perspectives, my Rosalynds, on your experiences with men literally denying the fact that you're child free and still wanting to give you children, or suggest that they will sneak and give you children if given opportunity to have sex with you. Okay. And with that, I'm going to say ciao.